Hello students, I hope you all are fine. And in this video, we are going to discuss concept of migrations and data annotations in code first new database or an entity framework. And I have already uploaded a video recording related to the code first new database theory as well as demonstration of code first new database. So this was the project that I created in the video that I have uploaded earlier. And now you see the tables were created in the previous video according to these classes, and the columns of tables and data type of columns were also decided according to the data types of these fields, these properties that we have created into the model classes here. So now what I am going to do, I am going to change these classes. I am going to create some properties, some other properties into the classes, or if I want to change the attributes of these properties. Yeah, just as we have the name property here, and if I want to set the number of characters uh, for this column, they should be you see reserved into a database table. For that, I can actually write a kind of code here, and I can issue a kind of command. And with the help of that command, the changes will be reflected into the database. So if I want to change these classes, and accordingly if I want to change the tables of database and columns of database tables, I can use the concept of migrations. So in this file, if you see here in this project, I have no any other files apart from properties, references, and the main file program.cs. So what I am going to do, I am going into the package manager console, you see, and in package manager console can be opened from the see, tools and NuGet package manager and package manager console. And here I can write the command of enable migrations. With this migrations will be enabled for this project, and I can write uh, the code, I can change the code, and I can reflect those changes into the database. So enable migrations for this project. This is the command that I have executed. So right now Visual Studio is checking the context related to the target database, and migrations are enabled right now. You see, by enabling the migrations for this project, I have actually got two files within the migrations folder, and the migration folder is also created right now by the Visual Studio, and inside it I have two files. One is configuration.cs that is open here. That is the main file responsible to actually deal with the context. And another file is usually initial create. This is the migration file that is actually created according to the current context of, according to the current state of, you see, these two classes. So this is actually the current state of the model classes. So right now I am going to change this block class, and the block class I am creating a property public string URL and gets it. See, I have changed the block class and I created a property a URL, and I am again I want to create this the URL column into a blogs table also into the relevant database. So this is the database that we have created, that we created actually for the current project console 3 code first new database blog context. Inside the tables, you see we have this blogs table. And if you see view data, I have two columns. So I want to create a third column in this table according to this field, this property that I have created here. So for that, what I have to do, I have to add migration, and I have to put a name for the migration. You see, that may reflect the change. You see, the change is URL, so I can write the name of migration blog URL. add migration blog. And when the migration will be added, a new file will be created, you see, with the seed value and the name of migration into the migrations folder. So seed value is actually current timestamp. So this is migration folder. I have to refresh it. So this is the new migration file that is created by Visual Studio right now. This is seed value current timestamp underscore blog URL is the name of migration, if you see. And in this, what kind of code is written? C# code is written, and that is to actually create a column. You see blogs inside the blogs table, and the name of column is the URL, and the type of column is CSV. So right now I have only created a migration file, but I haven't you see updated the database here. So after creating the migration file, now I can actually update the database according to this blog URL migration file. So for that I can write the update database command only. See? And right now with this command, according to the latest migration file, changes into the database will be made. So the migration is code of migration is executed right now. So after refresh of blocks, database into the view data. See right now I have URL column into the table. So I can also go back to the previous state. I know there are two files now. Initial create was the uh, original state of the database, and blog URL is the new state of the database according to new columns. So I can go back, okay, by targeting this initial create. You can see Control C, name of the file, and again I am going into the migration package manager console. So I'm rolling back right now to the previous state of the database, uh, target migration, name of migration. So I am changing the, see, I'm rolling back the changes into the blog state. So after execution of this one, again I have to refresh the database, and I have to see this blog table. You see URL column is right now eliminated from the table. So again, I can again target the blog URL using migration. See, and if I'll target the blog URL migration, this one, again the column will be added into the table. So what I have to do, update database, target migration, and the name of the migration file along with the seed. See, so this is actually the name of new migration file that I created. And you see, uh, after the execution of code of your blog URL migration, after refreshing it, you can see again URL column is there. So this is actually changing of schema after changing the model classes with the help of migrations. Okay, another concept that we use here into the you see into changing the schema of tables database, that is of data annotations. So for data annotations we use you see namespace here that is using system.data.system.component model.data annotations, and with this I can actually specify the attributes for the name. Okay, max length should be okay, Maximum length of name column into a database table of blog should be 50 characters. So I can again create a migration. See, add migration, and the name of migration there should show the relevant changes. Uh, Length of name in below and add the migration. So after adding the migration, a new file will be created here, and let's see whether the okay, code is executed right now. And let's see, new file is there, and I have to update the database again. Uh, Update database. Okay. If I want to update the database according to the latest migration file that we have created, then there is no need of target migration attribute. I can directly update the database, and with this, database will be updated according to the newly created migration file. And after the refreshing, I can see the schema of a table, blocks table view designer. You can see maximum length of name is now 50 characters. So this is actually example of migrations as well as data annotations, and there are a lot of data annotations that you can actually study from the various sources that you can use for primary key, for foreign key, for a composite key, for creating the constraints, also for multiple attributes related to a single column. You can study a lot of data annotations. I hope everything is clear to you. We'll meet into the next video. Thank you.